Welcome to Sound Unlimited for all things newsy, juicy, sporty, tasty, and more.
The joint sitting of the Portfolio Committees on Police and Justice and Constitutional Development has reached a majority decision to form an ad hoc parliamentary committee to deal with the allegations made by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. There were few members pushing for the standing committees to handle this responsibility. Now, what is an ad hoc parliamentary committee? Ad hoc committees are created to handle unique or time-sensitive matters that fall outside the scope of existing standing committees. They are typically established by a resolution of the Parliament or one of its houses. Members are often selected based on their expertise or knowledge relevant to the specific issue the committee is tasked with addressing. Ad hoc committees cease to exist once they have completed their assigned task and reported their findings or recommendations to the Parliament. Examples of issues that might warrant the formation of an ad hoc committee include investigating specific laws, conducting inquiries into particular matters, or addressing urgent situations like natural disasters or public health crises. Let's listen to the heated debate on this matter during the joint meeting.
It's not like we're asking to investigate everything. The allegations are there. We know what we're investigating. We even know who are the people to call into the room. General Mkhwanazi, General Masimula, Minister Mchunu, the head of IDEC, the head of NPA, General Khumalo, who was heading the political task team, is now crime intelligence. These are the people that must come and answer questions that South Africans are asking. We are here to represent South Africans. And as I learned, I therefore do not see this being done by an ad hoc committee. Ourselves, jointly as we are, can hold the executive and the officials accountable. I submit.
You know, so much has been said about General Mkhwanazi and the allegations he made. And I find it very, very suspicious that a full minister is suspended. We can use whatever nice terms we want to. He's suspended. And the Deputy National Commissioner is suspended on the basis of an allegation. But 7 seniors, generals in SAPS, are charged and they're still at work. And General Mkhwanazi is coming out in defense of these people. He's saying that this is an HR matter. Explain something to me, all of those who love General Mkhwanazi so much. General Lushaba and General Khumalo, they instructed Colonel Mabaso to buy 200 million rands worth of laptops that have never been issued to SAPS. Right across the road here, organized crime is working from cell phones. They don't have laptops. How is this an HR matter? How is it that we're talking about the lie, the alleged lie that Minister Mchunu told the police portfolio regarding his relationship with Brown? But the National Commissioner could lie about the brigadier that they brought from BMW. How is this okay? Why are we targeting certain people as Parliament? We are eulogizing General Mkhwanazi. I, as the complainant in the charges against those 7 generals, when this portfolio called me a madman before they were arrested, I, as the complainant, am connecting the dots. That staged press conference with a general who now seeks additional protection, where what looked like an armed militia behind him, it was a threat to this country. Let us call it what it is. He was trying to incite policemen to take action in the event of whatever it is that he knew was coming. Let me tell this committee what I suspect was coming. As the accounting officer for the South African Police Services, I suspect that the National Commissioner himself is up for arrest. And that press conference was nothing more than a preemptive move. And the country appears to have fallen for it. General Mkhwanazi must appear before this committee. The National Commissioner must appear before this committee. The IDAC must appear before this committee. General Khumalo, General Lushabo must come and sit in front of this committee. And I want to appeal and actually ask that we make it a recommendation that every member of this committee that has ever met with any law enforcement or investigative body or given them a statement or had a conversation must come clean and tell us what he said. I will be the first. I know Honorable James had that conversation. I have a suspicion there are a few more other people that are hiding things within this committee. Now, in order to clean out the service, we must all be honest. We can't demand accountability from the boys in blue and hide things right here. I then also want to just say that we've lost many fine police officers because of corruption. I'll mention a few names. General Andre Lincoln, General Vieri, General Theo, General Langweni. And some of us here have lauded these dismissals. But what is the common thread? It's the same corrupt cabal that is now before the court in Joburg. Why are we not talking about this? This thing is much bigger than a press conference called by a Lieutenant General from KZN. The entire top management of the South African police services appears to be corrupt. This is the basis of what we need to do. This is what we need, where we need to start.
Even the latter speaker from MKP, that speaks about a ticking time bomb. The mere fact that people are on the streets before anything happens, it is a ticking time bomb. Should anything happen to Mkhwanazi, I want to second the very notion and the sentiment that this country will see fire. Madiba is no longer here to quench the fire that could have happened when Chris Hani died. General Mkhwanazi is us. We are General Mkhwanazi. And as I close, Chair, I want to plead with this portfolio committee and other committees jointly that we can make those recommendations. I support the ad hoc committee as a better option because it also allows the very same committees to participate in that ad hoc committee. Unlike the Commission of Inquiry that suspends the work of the committee and the confidence that people of South Africa must have on us. The president is accountable to us. He must know that. Thanks, Chair.
People's trust in commissions, as low as people's trust in commissions of inquiry is, just as low, their trust is just as low in probing commissions or committees of parliament investigating things, joint committees, ad hoc committees, etc. So I don't think that beating around the bush and extending this process will at all help with regards to the trust that people have in Parliament. So I will suggest that we proceed now by doing our recommendations to the Speaker. And I also support the idea of an ad hoc committee on the condition that it's not made up of 20 to 30 to 40 people. The idea with an ad hoc committee is that it's streamlined, that it can probe a certain issue or do a certain investigation and make recommendations and is finalized. I don't think with respect to Honorable Ghana that an ad hoc committee necessarily dictates that there has to be legal representation. I think the circumstances dictate that. I may be wrong, but that's my submission with regards to that. And then, Chair, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just asking. But I'm not, let me say, I'm not sure, I'm asking whether or not the Honorable Adams may have alluded to a proven conflict of interest by being a complainant in this very matter that we are supposed to investigate. Can a complainant also be an investigator? Maybe it's a good thing, I don't know, but I'm asking with regards to that. And those are my submissions. Thank you, Chair.
In 2015, we had issues of McBride versus Phahlane. It was 2015, 2 years before the ANC National Conference. And today we have this one of the Mkhwanazis and them, 2 years before the National Conference. So this is a system that has entered into politics. And now we want to discuss as if we were independent. So when you form this ad hoc, you must also consider the independency of the ad hoc. So I like to also to agree with one of the colleagues who says we must not go there to destroy individuals. We must go there to fix the SAPS that is rotten. I submit.
I firstly have to confirm the support of the ACDP for an ad hoc committee, and also want to plead that that committee has to work at top speed. The people out there are demanding answers. And I also would want to plead with Parliament, the whole of Parliament, to take the warnings about sitting on the time bomb seriously. I would be surprised if within 6 months we don't see trouble in the country. People are angry, it is a fact. And when you see crowds in the streets protesting and saying, hands off General Mkhwanazi, one cannot underestimate the fact that something could be brewing. So we do not want to find ourselves in a space where there is fire in the country and people say, but you were warned. You did not listen to what the people were saying. There is evidence that there are people who respect and trust General Mkhwanazi more than they trust the police. The police, unfortunately, have discredited themselves in a number of ways. And as a result, they are not trusted. Somebody came to me last week about an issue that needed urgent attention from the police. It was a case of criminals planning something, and he asked me a question. Which police should I report this to? Because I do not want to go to a policeman or a police station that is part of the problem that the country is facing. Now, what do you do when you are asked, who do you trust? Refer me to a policeman you trust, and you are not able to do that. So this is a situation we are facing in the country, because I also have a challenge when it has to come to who can I trust with something very sensitive. Because you hear stories of people going to report, and before they arrive home, the person that they were exposing calls them. I know, they told me. So people become afraid. They have information that can help deal with the issues we are facing, but they're afraid to come out. So my colleague spoke about whistleblowers. It is a concern. What is going to be done to protect whistleblowers? If we want to solve the problem of criminality in the country, regardless of what kind of criminality it is, then people have to trust protection from the state, because they are exposing themselves to danger. So the issue of sitting on a time bomb, I want to plead, I repeat it, we have to take it very seriously. We know that we don't have an effective intelligence department. We don't have it. What happened July 2011? We don't want to see a repeat of that. 2021, July 2021. We don't want to see a repeat of that. And some of you would remember, if not all of you, that it took 3 days even before a police stood up to say something. It's like the police were hiding that time. Because now people have heard that the politicians are involved in the corruption in the country, the police are involved, almost everybody has been painted. They want to see what Parliament is going to do. And I would also plead that the ad hoc committee is not bound by, don't move respect the separation of powers. I understand that and I agree with that. But when people want to talk and this ad hoc committee want to dig, I would suggest that they be allowed to dig, because waiting for 6 months for a solution because of the commission of inquiry that will have to sit maybe for 6 months, I don't think that is fair because of the urgency of the moment. 6 months is way too long, and our ad hoc committee should conclude whatever they will be doing within 3 months, and then a presentation be made to Parliament. Now, if members of Parliament decide we want action to be taken before the Commission of Inquiry has concluded their investigations, are we going to say there's nothing we can do? Is Parliament going to say to the public, we are waiting for the Commission to conclude their investigations when they shall have had responses and evidence? Because when the General Mkhwanazi says he has evidence, why should it take more than 6 months as if you are starting from scratch? Because he says he has evidence. Let that evidence be tested to see if there is a need for additional information and evidence. So I want to plead, chairpersons, that let us ensure, let us request those who will be part of the ad hoc committee to move at top speed. If you listen to the temperature on the ground, not what is just in the papers, listen to what people are saying. People are angry. And before anything drastic is taken by people on the ground, I plead that the ad hoc committee should move at speed for the sake of the country. Thank you, Chairperson.
It has proven that these ad hoc committees, it has proven that task teams, it has proven that commissions of inquiries does not work and does not yield the results pleasing to South Africans. I've heard the input from 2 members where they said the outcome of these commissions of inquiries were favorable. Money was recovered, assets were frozen. We are tired of only seeing that. We want to see jail time. If we see that as being a positive, favorable outcome for South Africans, then I don't know where we're at. So this means we basically steal, and when we're done stealing, we pay back the money, and then we continue stealing.
That's noted.
So definitely not a commission of inquiry. I want to also say that there's not a trust deficit at this point. The trust between South Africans and South African Police Service has been completely violated. It is gone. And it is up to this House, it is up to these members to try and work towards restoring that trust. I still maintain that why do we have a portfolio committee on police when right now we are like a dog with no teeth?
It's over.
This matter should come to the portfolio committee and we should handle it like any other matter.
Sure.
It is for too long that we are guided by legislation. Apartheid was legal, but it didn't mean it was right.
Honorable James.
We have too much stuff that stands in the way of us simply serving South Africans in a simple way. The writing is on the wall, Chairperson.
Captured.
Ad hoc committees, because they've got dedicated people, they are vulnerable to corruption. So I think a joint committee is much more better for this thing than a dedicated ad hoc committee, which can be wined and dined. And I think on the separation of powers doctrine, I have to emphasize this thing. Lawyers were very clear about advise and not command, as it is. So I would suggest that let's err more on the side of allowing Mkhwanazi to do this work, and we just supervise him. So I was going to propose that perhaps we should set strict timelines for Mkhwanazi to say, by this date, have this charge sheet ready, have this indictment sheet ready, and then we have Friday joint meetings of report backs, as it were, so that we monitor his work because he's got the authority.
General Mkhwanazi said there's a member here in this parliament who's involved with General Sibiya. And we should not, run away from it. Those dockets, the 121, he said there's a member here. And if there's a member in this committee, please try to stay away from this committee. because we are serious here. Mkhwanazi is us. We are Mkhwanazi. This matter has to be investigated deeply. I hope our colleagues, the DA who were with when there was Pala issue, you know, you remember the Pala issue.
Thank you, Honorable Skosana.
And now they've turned the tune.
Thank you, Honorable Skosana.
Thank you.
First issue, members, I want us to look at is the issue relating to Honorable Adams. You'll recall that the legal advice spoke about a member of parliament was even General Mkhwanazi did not mention a member of parliament by name. Now, it does come out from the engagements that Honorable Adams may have a possible conflict of interest in the matter. He's already also a complainant. He has already have opened a criminal case and all those things, the receipt of intelligence documents and all those things. But as when we're deliberating or we're instructing the legal services unit to formulate another legal opinion for the next meeting, to attend to get a clearer approach of how do we attend to the Honorable Adams matter. The issue, members of the three committees, I think we must separate two things. The Speaker made a public announcement that she's referring the matters to three committees through a statement. But when she issued out an instruction, she issued an instruction to us, police and justice, to work together and the intelligence work on the other side. But I think the point that members are raising, which is quite critical, is how do we then balance the two? How do we have a cooperative role in terms of approaching the matter that warrants us to deal with this matter? There is overwhelming view, Honorable Ghana, that we are going to the House on the 23rd to recommend that an ad hoc committee be established. There must be strict terms of reference, which must be adopted by this joint committee Tuesday next week on a virtual platform. There must be a strict time frame that must also be adopted by this committee Tuesday next week. We're saying virtual members, but the expectation is that some of the members may be traveling to the House, or the House may sit even earlier. So we're going to look at the times and try to allocate, because it looks like the House on Tuesday and Wednesday is sitting from 10 a.m., but we're still going to attend to verify that and all that. So in the meantime, let's say virtually until if we see a possibility of sitting. Parliament our committee is busy with the whistleblower protection laws, working with the Department of Justice. In due time, we'll be able to debrief in respect of that. The ad hoc committee, of course, is empowered to summon on behalf of the people of South Africa, whoever may have any form of evidence, including the president, can be summoned to bring, if there is a particular aspect that needs to be proven. So that's how it is. But it is a fully fledged committee of members of parliament. I don't want us to get out of here with an impression that we are usurping our powers and giving them to a particular grouping of people who we call ad hoc. No, it's but we note as lessons the challenges that would have been raised in the previous ad hoc committees. I was part of the Section 194 committee, Honorable Khan. I know the challenges we face there. We can't mask them. So it's part of the lessons that we have drawn, that this at least ad hoc must not be riddled with some of those things that delayed was. Our primary interest is to safeguard the interests of the people of South Africa.
Thanks for watching.